The article to be analyzed is Drugs You Don't Need for Disorders You Don't Have by Jonathan Kahn, published in the Highline. The main thesis of the article is that there's a vital need for strict regulations that increase transparency in pharmaceutical advertisements in the United States because they use legal loopholes and freedom of expression as excuses to provide misleading depictions of the effectiveness and potential risks associated with their drugs. Due to the peripheral nature of direct-to-consumer advertising, the information is presented in nonfiction medium by narrating an expert and insider's experience with the issue. The author provides evidence for this thesis in the second page, where he mentions the fact that over half of drug advertisements are misleading, and furthermore, in the second page, the author shows that one of the reasons for drug companies to invest so much in advertisement is the profitable nature of this investment. The author is very dedicated to welfare policy topics and thus adopts a very objective attitude towards the article. He includes no personal opinion in an explicit manner. He sticks to the use of realistic detail and an expert's point of view, as can be seen in the first page, where the author introduces Lisa Schwartz and her personal experience with Bill Somra, and then proceeds to validate her expertise in the field with her career background in the FDA. This information shows the validity of arguments instead of just saying they are valid, which I was able to confirm through research on the state of drug advertisement regulations in the FDA website. Thus, the author's attitudes barely influence the article itself, and the article is able to present a truthful depiction of the scenario relevant to the thesis, which I was also able to confirm through my research on the FDA and direct-to-consumer advertisement. Some interpretive lenses that I became aware of during my reading were based on personal experience, having not been exposed to advertisements of drug companies, and my expectation of the United States prioritizing the First Amendment of freedom of speech, expression, over the potential risk of capitalist purposes, which can be seen in the which were triggered by the second paragraph of the second sentence of the second page. I also had reactions to the mention of the case of Nexium, which the author uses as historical validation for his claims, but since I was not familiar with this case, I was quite affected, and I was also prompted to search for the author using historical evidence as validation for his claims, since this is a nonfiction analysis assignment, and therefore I looked at this assignment at this information about the Nexium case in less of a engaged way and more as an outsider trying to understand the actual historical events and not their relevance to the topic itself. I struggled to mitigate the effect of these biases, but I was able to still identify them and thus reduce their effect on my reading and analysis. As mentioned before, I conducted research on the context with regard to the state of drug advertisements regulations in the United States through the FDA website and through a research paper on the use of direct-to-consumer advertisement in drug companies. And also I conducted research on the Highline, whose goal is to publish stories that stick with you, which informed my rating by understanding that the extremely connective and socially oriented theme of the article would be relevant to the Highline and therefore so present in the author's writing.